Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you're returning.
Yeah, if you're
first,
on this marathon.
If your first video is top 10 Crowded House songs, then I salute you because that's weird. You know, we've got an interesting top 10 to go here. If you haven't seen the album ranking, as always, we would suggest you watch that first because it would sort of spoil a few of our picks for that in this video. Or if you just care about the songs and you want to put some songs in the playlist, just stick around for this.
Just make sure you do watch the album ranking. It'll hurt my feelings if you don't.
Yeah, Sam wants to be the most viewed video on the channel again. He's a bit bitter about that.
Trey.
Radiohead. So you went first. You went first for albums. I'll go first for songs.
It's only fair.
Crack straight into it.
Jump on into it.
My number 10, from my spoilers, favourite Crowded House album, Temple of Lowlands. We're going back to the opening track trend. I Feel Possessed. Really great chorus on this one. It's one that I had stuck in my head quite a lot. People are strange, God only knows. It's just great. It's really catchy. Great way to open the album.
Yeah.
Sort of sets you up for the fun of it and the sort of great ride that album is. So my number 10 is I Feel Possessed.
Right, okay. My number 10, coming in from Crowded House, the self-titled, is Something So Strong.
Yeah.
Good song. One that obviously gets overshadowed by the juggernaut from that album, which is Don't Dream It's Over. But it's a really fun song. It's just so, innocent in a way. It's just something so strong can carry us away.
Yeah, it's a very sweet little song.
Yeah, and the ending is so I feel good now.
Yeah.
And songs like that, they're few and far between really, especially in 80s songs, which are surprisingly melancholic. So yeah, good song, and comes in at number 10. Something So Strong.
Number 9 is going to be the only representation of the album that I went on a limb to defend in the video, which I will do in the comments as well if needed. My favourite song from Time on Earth, which is their first reunion album, which I ranked quite high. It's going to be She Called Up. Really, really sweet, catchy pop song. Kind of similar to Something So Strong in a way, but in my opinion, better.
Clearly.
Neil does a really good job on this one. There's not much to say about some of these songs. It's just classic Neil Finn songwriting where it's just infectious, like you said, like really relatable, nice mood, and it gets you in a good mood.
Yeah. So, my number 9, first entry, not the last, from Temple of Lowlands, and it's In the Lowlands.
Nice.
Which is a fantastic song, and we talked about it quite a bit in the album videos, so go and check my opinion there. But I think it's a very good song, and it's a shame that it's one of the songs that it's not a single, so it's
also right at the end of the album as well.
Yeah.
So it's like quite a deep cut. Yeah.
But I feel as though it deserves a lot more attention than it gets. So In the Lowlands got to number 9 for me.
Number 8 was sticking with Temple of Low Men, and I'm going to go with one of the singles, I believe, When You Come. Sort of lies in the middle of the album. It's maybe not the most memorable song that they did, but it's got a really great atmosphere to it. Again, very sincere, sweet Neil Finn songwriting, very catchy. Even though I just said it wasn't memorable, it's catchy in the moment.
Yeah.
It's got quite an infectious hook.
Yeah.
And just like most of Temple of Low Men, it's got a really nice sound, really nice guitars on there. So
fair play. My number 8 is the first entry from my top album, Woodface, and it's Only Natural. It's another song. It's funny, all of these songs on here, they're like the songs that are a bit more upbeat. I like this. It's only natural I should want to be there with you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those songs that you can really get into and embrace the good parts of life to. And it's circumstantial. It's something I was born to do.
Yeah.
Can I help it if I want to? There it is, number 8.
Number 7 is probably going to be my most surprising pick, because this is quite a deep cut. From Crowded House, it's Can't Carry On, which I love. I think it's got whenever it starts, I have a smile on my face. Again, great catchy songwriting. just a really fun little song. And yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the big single on this album, it would be my favourite on this album. But yeah, it was one of the little songs like this. One of the reasons why that sort of came up the ranks a little bit, because it is just lovely. And having that, I think that's what I love about those first two albums is Neil Finn's songwriting coupled with the sort of the craziness of the instrumentation sometimes. So because the songs are normally quite normal, but it's what they do with the songs that is quite wacky.
Makes
which I think
them different.
It works really well, I think. So yeah, my number 7 is Can't Carry On, which might be a surprise. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's showing how diverse our lists are going to be,
Yeah.
and I guess that's a testament to the songwriting
Yeah.
and like how many good deep cuts that there are in there. Because my number 7 is another deep cut from Temple of Lowlands, going back to that, and it's "Love This Life," which is it's an interesting song in terms of tone, because there's a hint of like a deeper subtext, but I think the overall message is just like, sod that, love this life, you know, in the face of the problems that we're not ignoring here, love this life. And I think it's a powerful message, and it's one that I really connect with, and it's a song that's just shot up in the last few weeks when I've been preparing for this video and thinking about my top 10 songs. It was a real surprise, and it did get quite high up. It fell a little bit further down once I really started to scrutinise the songs that are higher in the list, and I was like, no, they are better, but nonetheless it definitely deserves to be in the list in my opinion, and it's at my number 7.
Yeah, I will say, once we get into my top 6, these are all songs I consider masterpieces as songs. And for you to have 6 masterpieces is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So these are all top tier songs. On number 6, we're going to be in Temple of Lowlands again.
Right.
And we're going to have our first repeat, I believe. It's going to be in the Lowlands. Again, I sort of talked in the video how it's really not the most original song in the world. It is just like a Smiths tribute, basically, which is quite cool, because at the time the Smiths weren't exactly, the height of popularity. They were quite an underground band, but there's very clear influence from the Smiths here. It's like, I kind of like that he's not even trying to hide the influence. But, I think it's great. It's the reason it only lands at number 6 is because it doesn't make me think of Crowded House. It just makes me think of a great song. You know what I mean? Whereas the other ones are like, oh, Crowded House. Whereas this is like, oh, the Smiths. So yeah.
No way.
In the Lowlands, number 6. I think it's great.
It is a great song.
So yeah, I'm glad we shared that one.
Yeah. My number 6, coming in from Woodface. It's one of their more popular songs. It's the song that I have already alluded to, saying that it's the first song I'd ever heard from them. It's Weather With You. Great song, very catchy. Not one of their best of their out of their singles, the really big songs of theirs. I feel like maybe it gets a bit too much rep from people as one of their most popular songs. Nonetheless, great song.
Yeah, it's made your list still. Yeah.
Yeah, it's trumped some songs that I think are brilliant. So number 6, Weather With You.
Yeah, top 5. My number 5, you might be shocked to hear this being at number 5, because there was a time where this was my favourite Crowded House song. But I think this is the only song that has suffered from overplay for me. Fall at Your Feet. Yeah, so, because I remember when you first showed me this, I was like, oh yeah, I know this song, and I got obsessed with it. And it doesn't quite hit as well as it used to, but I can't judge the song too much for that, because, properly speaking, it's still amazing, and it's still one of their best songs. That's why it made number 5. And there would have been a time where it was number 1, but it is number 5. I was wondering if that would be a surprise. I thought you might.
It's not too much as a surprise, because we've matched.
Oh, there we go.
Number 5 is Fall at Your Feet.
Look at us matching like there's no tomorrow today.
And it's for exactly the same reason that I've heard it so much that it does not hit in the same way. But nonetheless, it's a fantastic song. It's a lovely ballad of unrequited love, and it still does hit. But these other songs that have come in from Deep Dive have overtaken. But number 5, top 5. It's a good testament. So yeah.
I now wonder if we're going to match up again. My number 4 is probably, if you're watching this and you don't know Crowded House, this is probably the song that you know. It's Don't Dream It's Over. Lead single from the debut. I sort of talked about in the albums video that it was one that I have a bad tendency to dismiss the most popular song by bands sometimes, which is a bad habit I need to get out of. But usually I end up coming around to that song and being like, oh no, actually this is great. Because it happened with There Is a Light That Never Goes Out by the Smiths, It happened with, you know, a load of different songs by different bands I've got
Smiths
into.
Are on the Brain.
Yeah, the Smiths Are on the Brain. That's
Lowlands.
why it came into my head. It happened with Psycho Killer by Talking Heads as well, but eventually I was like, no, this slaps.
Still getting there with Road to Nowhere.
Yeah, still getting there. That'll be an interesting video we end up doing. So, yeah, but Don't Dream It's Over is just an undeniable song. It is really great, really anthemic, catchy. I can see why it was a big hit. I can see why, you know, if you had to pick one Crowded House song for everyone to know, it makes sense that it's this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that it's one that, you know, is one that I can share with people. My enjoyment. With
Yeah.
it, so.
That's fab. That's fab. My number 4, which could be my number 1 if I wasn't scrutinising myself and thinking, no, do you really love it that much?
Yeah.
Is from Woodface and it's Whispers and Moans.
Wow, yeah.
It's just a song that I really do love. And yet it doesn't really, to me, have much of a point. It's just kind of quite wow. That's the only way I can describe it. You can't really write down hand motions, but that is how I feel, and it's just a great song. But you know, they can do better than that, and I think I'd be doing them an injustice to say that one of their best song, well, if I were to put it number 1, their best song would be a deep cut from the 3rd album, which also has the likes of like Whether With You Fall at Your Feet, which interestingly I've ranked it higher. I'm still dying on a hill, but I can't say that it's the best song that they've ever made, because I know they can do better, and that's why it just missed metal position for me.
Yeah, I didn't like that song as much as you, unfortunately. I do like it, but it was nowhere near being on my list. But I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. We've hit top 3.
Yep.
My number 3, another one you might have thought I would have at number 1. My favourite song on Woodface, 4 Seasons in One Day. Really love this one. Again, Paul McCartney vibes to it. It's got it's how it sort of fades in slowly, and it's sort of the light percussion and the guitar. It just works really well. It's really nice, and
it's quite different for them, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the chorus comes in, and then there's like a mandolin, and it's quite very folky, which I like. And yeah, so 4 Seasons in One Day is my number 3. I love it a lot, and it's just, I put it above Don't Dream It's Over and Fall at Your Feet, so you know, that shows how much I love it. But yeah, that's my number 3.
My top 3 is going to have a few surprises, I think.
Really?
I think so, because my bronze medal goes to a song from Together Alone, and it's Fingers of Love.
Oh my god! Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so brooding. There's like this mood to it, and it just really slaps. And I feel passionate when I'm listening to that song. And I don't know, I just really get into it, and I just deserve bronze medal. It climbed up and up and up. Even like as the day has gone on, I've thought more about that song, and I'm just like, this is my ranking, right? So I'm like, I love Fingers of Love, and I'm going to hold to it.
Well, no, there's no reason for us to try and be objective.
No.
Because there's no objectivity in music. It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Like,
that's how come we managed to have such disparate lists.
Yeah, but I think, you know, we still agree that a lot of these songs are good, you know.
Yeah.
My number 2, you might, you know, if I sort of make jokes about this quite a lot, but my music has been quite predictable, and of course the Beatles inspired sad slow acoustic ballad is my number 2. Better Be Home Soon is my number 2. And it's sort of, it's, someone described it as you won't get this reference because I don't think you've heard this song, but as Crowded House's A Day in the Life, which is one of the Beatles' most famous ballads. And
Gauging a reaction.
I agree to that, because it's just this lovely little song, that chorus where it's like, I know I'm right. And it's like that feeling of you just know what you're doing is the right thing. You don't care about what the consequences are or what the status quo is. It's like in the status quo, what am I on about? But in your head, you know what you're doing is the right thing to do. And it's like, for the first time in my life, is like just an undercut of that. It's like, God, it's just a really lovely song. And to end the album on that is just,
Yeah.
The fact that that album ends with my two favourite songs on it, In the Lowlands and Better Be Home Soon, that's a great... Again, I was talking about how important openers are. Closers are just as important. And to close an album with two songs as good as that, to leave such a good taste in your mouth and want you to come back to it, that's special.
Yeah,
So
you better be back soon for the third album, sort of thing, back in those days. So you better be, yes.
so
Back is
Better Be Home
home.
Soon is my number 2.
Yep. My number 2 is from Crowded House, Since Don't Dream It's Over.
Mm.
Now, this could have suffered from overplay. However, it's associated with a lot of my life, and I hold a lot of memories against that song, including but not limited to it being played at the Fleetwood Mac concert that I went to a couple years ago with my mum. And obviously Neil Finn is part of the band now, and so they played it, and the crowd went absolutely wild for it in a way that they didn't really go that wild for Fleetwood Mac songs, because they could be expected. And then when they were playing Don't Dream It's Over, people really did engage with that song, and I think it's remarkable, and it's good that song has stood the test of time. And I think you're right, it's a universal song in terms of being able to introduce it to people, and so go, this is Crowded House, this is why I like Crowded House, and people go, oh no, I get that. And I think it being covered by recently by more popular artists gives it that longevity, and people know the song even if they don't know Crowded House, and I think that's quite something.
I mean, yeah, and credit to them, they could easily have been a one-hit wonder, but they came back and they got some chart success, so good for them. I think we might have the same number 1, Sam.
Really?
My number 1 is Distant Sun. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh
my god.
That's funny. I didn't think that would happen. So
nor did I.
I guess that's just I mean, okay. So I'll talk about it first, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, we do this thing with our playlists for these artists where we name, well, I do it anyway, I name it after a lyric. Seven Worlds Will Collide is the name of my Crowded House playlist.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's that lyric, 7 worlds will collide whenever I'm by your side. It's just such an amazing lyric of showing love. It's really quite cheesy, but in the best possible way. Like, it's so sincere as a love song. Unbelievably catchy. Like, it is an absolute earworm, and is honestly the main reason why Together Alone got a 7, because it has that song on it.
Sun.
Like,
that's why it's so high for me, I think, as well, because Distant Sun is
it's
one of those songs that I listened to on the Greatest Hits CD that made me think, wow, there really is more to them than that. Because obviously I bought it thinking, oh, well, I like the big songs that I'd already heard, most of them from Woodface. And I heard that one, I was like, oh, wow!
Yeah.
And that was like the first song that I'd heard on that CD that I could feel like I loved as much as I loved the big songs that I'd already heard for years. And it just really engages me, and it makes me feel warm inside. And it's just a phenomenal song, and I think you're right. The instrumentation of it makes it so catchy, and the chorus is great, and the way it swells, and it like the ending builds up, and it just goes out on a high.
Yeah,
and I just think it is phenomenal, and it really is a standout track from the album.
Yeah,
like by a country mile. It's just phenomenal, and I'm so pleased that we've managed to share number 1.
It is a single on the album, but it's not. It's not Weather With You. It's not.
No.
Don't Dream It's Over. You know, it's not a massive song.
No.
So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
So we matched on 2 on that video.
We did.
Which is insane. But I have 5 honorable mentions again, like with the last video.
Yeah.
I have from Temple of Low Men. I have Into Temptation. As an honorable mention, I like the strings on that song. It's a very sweet little ballad. One you had on your list from the debut, Something So Strong, really nice little pop song. A couple from Time on Earth, which I really wanted to get on there, but I just couldn't quite.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to, and Even a Child, really great songs. And then Weather With You as well was an honorable mention. So
yeah, I had a few honorable mentions from Time on Earth, which unfortunately didn't make my list, but it got so close. Don't Stop Now was like my number 11 or 12. I also really enjoyed, what was that one? Nobody Wants To. That was a really good one. Say That Again, good song. I also wanted to give a shout out to There Goes God which was at one point number 10, but I had to be real with myself and say it wasn't as good a song as Something So Strong, so it lost out. And yeah, I feel Possessed is a good song, When You Come. Unfortunately, they didn't make it onto my list, but still great songs and still hold a good
four
point.
seasons in one day?
I didn't. I suppose that does too, but I guess the slower pace didn't really make my top 10.
Yeah. Nice. It definitely made mine.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, very cool to share a number one. I didn't think that was going to happen ever.
No, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of shocked how much we matched up today. Because if these are your first videos of watching us, get ready for some disagreement.
Yeah.
Especially maybe when we get to Genesis. I'll just say that. We won't reveal too much, but we have some hunches, despite not having heard
them yet.
But we have some hunches.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a very interesting video once we get to it. But I think our plan is to do Talk and Elliott Smith in our next recording session. So look forward to that. Both probably artists with a bit more interest towards them, especially Elliott Smith, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was Crowded House. I had a great time doing that.
I love listening to them all again.
Yeah, and I will go back to the first two albums and to Time on Earth especially.
And I'm going to see them live soon.
You are, yeah, so that'll be cool.
This has been great preparation for me, really hyping me up ready to go and see Crowded House, because they've been putting it off since the pandemic outbreak, like a few years ago, and so this has been a long time coming, and I'm really excited. I'm so glad that we've found common ground today, and I've been able to share this with you.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time, and I think they are an underrated band, like we said at the end of the album's video. And yeah, if you want to check out a Crowded House song, probably check out Distant Sun. Because that's the one that's the one we both agree is the best one. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and catch you soon.